Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Connected Business Bridging the Gap in Construction Operations. My name is Jason and I'll be your host for today's session. Today's insightful webinar is about construction industry, the pains that your business is experiencing right now and the solutions to overcome these problems. All throughout the webinar, you'll learn why the construction industry needs to embrace digital transformation today and how cloud-based construction ERP solution connect people, processes, and data within one platform. Okay, just a little housekeeping before we get started to ensure you can interact well with our speakers and the camera to avoid interruption with the speakers and other attendees. Next is if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. I'll bring them up to our speakers during the Q&A part of the webinar. Lastly, we will be recording this webinar from start until the end of the session. A recorded version of this webinar will be available after 24 hours. So we want this session more interesting and interactive. That's why we would really love to hear questions from you with regards to today's topic. Shoot us your questions and we'll pick those attendees who will actively participate during the session and get a chance to win an exciting stuffs like Infosoft limited edition Moleskine and notebook and power bank. Our presentation will start from our first speaker, Mr. Maurice Perdon, to discuss the Infosoft's company profile. Next is Mr. Torsten Lepek. He will enlighten us about the industry's pains and solutions. He will also give us a walkthrough of Acumatica ERP, followed by Mr. Chris Patong to share with us their success experience with Infosoft and Acumatica. Then our speakers will answer your questions during Q&A. Okay, without further ado, I'll turn the time over to our first speaker, Mr. Maurice Perdon. Mr. Maurice is the Infosoft's business unit head for construction. He has an extensive knowledge of ERP solution whose expertise are on streamlining various industries' operations, especially construction industry. To start, let me call on Mr. Maurice to start his presentation.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Good afternoon. And again, I'm Maurice from Infosoft. And today, I'll start the session by introducing our company, our satellite locations, our management team, the solutions and services that we offer, and some awards and recognitions that we received from our partners. Infosoft, officially established on August 16, 2001, is a value-added reseller of leading best-in-class enterprise resource planning, or ERP, and corporate performance management, or CPM, solution in the Philippines. Our head office is located here in Metro Manila, specifically in Mandaluyong City, and we have our branches in Cebu and Davao to cater our Visayas and Mindanao clients. Our management team, headed by Mr. Yoris Spanhoff, is composed of professionals who are expert in their respective fields, such as business management, economics, information technology, and finance. With over 150 clients across the country, our team of over 90 consultants composed of project managers, certified public accountants, and software engineers provide technical and expert consultation on ERP and CPM implementations to mid-market organizations in the country. As shown also on the slide, all our consultants are either CPA or with finance background, both on the functional and technical side, because we also believe that the heart of every ERP system is the financials. Now, on our 20th year, our wide range of experience enabled us to build and strengthen our competency in addressing specific vertical industry requirements of our clients. Our solutions. So we have the following ERP, CPM, and retail solutions. And for this afternoon, we will know more about Acumatica, a true cloud-born ERP with a full suite of integrated management applications and modules, including financials, supply chain, CRM or customer relationship management, property management, and of course, construction, among others. We have a bunch of ERP systems in the market, and generally, it addresses the horizontal requirements of our clients. When we say horizontal, it pertains to the general business requirements like purchasing, sales, and financials like accounts receivables, accounts payables, cash, and general ledgers. With Infosoft and in partnership with Axeltech, we develop various solutions that will address specific vertical industry requirements, like those in the construction industry. We have RED, or the real estate dimension, with functionalities on project budgeting, construction management, sales financing and foreclosures, and property management. We also have FAD, or the Facilities and Assets Dimension. This is an IFRS 16 or PFRS 16 compliant vertical solution for all your property management and leasing operation needs. The AGRID, or Agribusiness Dimension, addressing specific requirements of plantation, aquaculture, and poultry companies. Then finally, we have AD, or the Advanced Dimension. ERP systems such as Acumatica is a global solution. With AD, we localize Acumatica to conform with our Philippine taxation policies, to cater the requirements of BIR, like printing of BIR forms 2307, generation of DAT files for EFPS filing, among others. Add or advanced dimension also includes some local business practices like cash advance liquidation, petty cash fund and replenishments, and post-dated checks management. Our services. So as a value-added reseller of Acumatica, we add value to the solution by implementing it. Among the activities involved in the project implementation include, but are not limited to, business process review and documentation, setup and design, training, user acceptance testing, go live support, upgrade services, and project management. We also do customization and integration services. Acumatica's modules are designed based on the best industry practices, but there may be some very specific requirements that our clients would need. The good thing is that Acumatica is also highly customizable, and we have a full team that handles these specific customization requirements. Some of our clients would have existing third-party applications like payroll system or a front-end system like those in the banking and hotel industries. With the integration services that we provide, these third-party systems can be seamlessly integrated to Acumatica. And finally, after every project close out and hand over to our clients, there will be a separate team who will handle the post-implementation support. We call them the customer support team, where our clients have an option to avail of the annual service maintenance plan or SMP with consumable hours depending on the chosen plan like silver, gold, or platinum. That can be used for break and fix support, retraining, and some minor customization enhancements. As mentioned, when the project implementation team finishes a project, they hand it over to the customer support before proceeding to take on another project. We are making sure that any completed project or client for that matter will not be left behind or feel orphaned, because there will be another team who will look after them for their existing and future business requirements. Okay, some awards and recognitions that our partners gave us. We are Acumatica Gold Certified Partner, and in 2019, we were awarded as the Field Service Partner of the Year. We were also awarded twice as Construction Partner of the Year in 2018 and just last year, 2020, during pandemic. This just goes to show our unparalleled commitment to the construction and real estate industry in delivering solutions like Acumatica that will aid our clients on their complex business requirements. Okay, actually this is my last slide, but let me end my presentation by saying that our key approach is the concept of looking at our clients as our business partners. We take close interest in helping our clients take control of their operations by streamlining their processes and helping them gain insight from accurate and timely information. At Infosoft, we say it always, your business is our business. Now, for our next part of this afternoon session, we will know more about Acumatica as a product and as a company, who is represented here by its Asia Regional Director, Mr. Torsten Lepek. Torsten is an experienced ERP implementer and project manager. He had been involved in various business process improvement, ranging from medium to large enterprise project. Good afternoon, Torsten.
Thank you, Morris. Good afternoon. So let me share my screen if this is okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much, Morris, and thank you even more, everybody, for joining us today for this presentation. So when Infosoft asked me to speak a little bit on this event today here, for sure, first of all, I was thinking about what I want to talk about. And I want to talk a little bit about the challenges that we are seeing in the markets out there, sure, in the construction industry, and your colleagues, and from a global perspective. I want to speak a little bit about our experience that we are making in our implementation projects in the construction industry. And then I invited my colleague Natanai, who is with me today, to show you a little bit about the solution, to give you a small feeling about it. But as a starting point, this was my other question. So why should be an IT guy, and this is what I am, and Morris said is project management is my background mainly, know a lot about construction and speak about construction. And it is because in Acumatica, we believe if we want to provide solutions for customers that really help them on a daily basis in their business, in making decisions. We believe you only can do this if you understand the business of our customers. So we don't want to be an ERP that is very, very broad and everybody can use it. We have targeted industries where we are internally building up expertise and then developing specific solutions for these specific industries. And just give you a little short background about how this happened with constructions. About 4 years ago, we hired resources out of the construction industry into Acumatica. And these resources helped us to develop the solution we are talking about here today. This took us about a year, and about 3 years ago, we released our first Acumatica Construction Edition we are talking about today. Last year here in Asia, 26% of our new sales were construction sales. So it shows that this is something that works. But this shows too that our customers and prospects we are talking with believe that this is really a suitable solution that is tailored for you, for the construction industry. So I want to start a little bit talking about what we see in the market. What are the challenges that are out there at the moment? And quite interestingly, when I looked more into the details and discussed this with our global construction team in the US, we get a lot of feedback about material costs that are increasing a lot. And interestingly, it happens to me personally. I'm building a house at the moment. I'll give you a short example. I bought some iron a couple of weeks back, where I paid 300 baht per piece. And I wanted to buy 2 days ago, and they asked me for 800 baht. I'm not sure if this is everywhere like this or here in Thailand where I'm based, but there is an increase in cost. So the construction industry even more has to deal with as me, right? In an increase like this with my small amounts or quantities that I'm needing there. So that's an issue, but how can we help? That's always the question behind it. We can help with trying to optimize your warehouse, reducing the procurement that you have to do, with giving you visibility, which kind of material is available where on the different construction places that you have, maybe suggesting to move it instead of buying additional material again, whatever it is around. Point number 2 is labor shortages. We hear about this a lot, and I hear this in Asia a lot too, and it might be a little bit related to because in a lot of countries in the construction industries, and I see it here in Thailand every day, they're working a lot with migrant labor, right, from other countries. So the borders are closed. So that's an issue that is there. Besides the pandemic itself, it's an issue for sure, and it's in the list there as well. But this is something to deal with too. So we too want to see and work together with our partners like Infosoft, with our customers, and maybe with other third-party solutions to see how can we maybe optimize scheduling and planning and everything around to deal with these kind of challenges that are there. Insurance costs is another one, and we for sure we cannot do anything about these issues that you are facing itself, but we can help in showing it, in tracking this, in trying to optimize processes, in addressing these kind of challenges that you have on a daily basis. Stagnant productivity in the execution of the construction itself. There too, solutions like Acumatica can help with giving visibility, with pointing out where challenges are, so management or project manager can react quicker on things that they can realize and go there. Safety issues, always a topic for sure, has to be in the construction industry, definitely yes. Not much as an ERP solution can do with this, I'm honest there as well. And it's the technology adoption. So a lot of people speaking about in construction, a lot of things are still done manual and scheduled manual and invoicing manual. And we see this too when we meet customer or prospects today in the construction industry itself. But I think especially COVID is showing us, the pandemic, the situation we are all in is showing us we have to go there. We have to digitalize our business, no matter if you are construction or if you are a manufacturer and so on. and this is definitely something Acumatica stands for, digital transformation. And as a very simple example, we are 100% browser-based, which means work from home is very, very easy. You just open a notebook, a tablet, a mobile, whatever you want, you can access the business solution and you can continue working, which for sure helps a lot. It's still not a perfect solution, especially not in construction, but it helps a lot to at least let the business continue. And then for sure, like I said, the COVID-19 pandemic we all have to deal with. In Asia at the moment, I feel it's maybe stagnant or even getting worse at the moment still. So it's still something we all have to live with. So, and what we think, the construction industry specifically is confronted at the moment with a lot of issues that are coming up. Some of the examples, like I said, that I put there together from our experience and from discussions that we have with customers itself. So we believe that using a construction ERP software and a project management software to digitalize the way you work will help a lot in improving the business and the business processes in a construction organization. So what we are as Acumatica mainly doing and are focusing on are three main things. So it's our technology, our platform. Like I said, 100% browser-based. Resources, users can work for wherever they are. You can access the information if you are on site, on the construction site, right? Your manager, project managers, your people on the construction site can enter data directly into the system via our mobile app or a tablet, like I said, or maybe a notebook, whatever you would like to assign to them. So that's the technology behind that we are using there. Then it's about functionality. And like I mentioned, industry-specific functionality. We know you need to manage subcontractors. We know you need to manage compliance. But the main part for sure, we know you want to track your projects. You want to know what's the progress, how is my budget to actual. In Acumatica, you get a real-time P&L on your project at any given time that you are having there. And then it's the customer focus that we are having. we can only be successful in our business if we can help our customers and our partners like Infosoft to be successful in their business. So we understand this, and we have a lot of focus on our customers, and want them to be successful. So that is our platform, and I just want to address it very short to give you a little bit of more technical background. So we are using Microsoft SQL Server as a database. For the public cloud hosting, which means we are hosting the solution for you. We are partnering with AWS. So here in Asia, all our customers that are on public cloud are on AWS in data center in Singapore, and we are developing our solution with .NET and .NET technology, C# and ASP.NET. We then have a layer that we call our Acumatica Cloud XRP platform, where we, in the first step, develop all the common functionalities that everybody needs. So like role-based user access setup, the mobile app that is coming for free with a solution with unlimited users for our customers, where you can access everything from your Android or Apple mobile, iPhone. It's report designer included in Acumatica. It's dashboards, which Renata and I show in a few minutes, that is included there itself. And on top of this XRP platform, we then develop our cloud ERP solution. And you see this here on the top, which is very industry specific, as I explained at the beginning. So the customers we mainly have in the construction industry are general contractors, subcontractors and specialty contractors, home builders, and land developers. That's the main focus and the main things that we took into account, the requirements out of these customers when we designed the solution. But over the years, it developed further, and we have other companies in the construction space now and are utilizing it too. But this was originally our main focus when we developed this solution. So now I want to speak about some of the experience we made out of the implementations. Like I said, our 26% was our second best edition in Asia last year. So we implemented for a lot of construction companies already, and want to speak a little bit about the experience or what we heard there, where the main challenges are to be really profitable. And I understand that one of our customers is joining a little bit later after me, so he might support this or maybe correct me on some of the points if he sees it different. So number one is silos between accounting and field operations. So disconnection, having disconnected solutions that are not integrated, multiple data entries, and everything around. I think in the construction industry, this we see this still a lot as a challenge that is there to really have full visibility what's going on. The information is not flowing smoothly. I took as an example the raw material before, right, that you might want to use. In some organizations, still difficult to see what is available maybe on the other construction sites, what is available in the warehouse. So this full flow of information that is available in organization, making it available to the people that need it at this given moment in time that you have there. And it's sometimes tough to really access the profitability of your projects you are working on. I had a lot of owners or CEOs of construction companies when I asked them, and I got the feedback, yeah, I really know if it was a success or was profitable or not after we closed the project. So like I said, there too, we build a solution where this can be tracked over the whole process of the implementation itself. And it's a lack of visibility, what it really costs me in detail, labor costs that are there behind, and occurring on the daily work that is happening on the construction side. And then it's, like I said before, many external different systems taking different responsibilities in supporting the resources in your organization. Everything is disconnected, that I said before. And then sometimes older technology where it's very difficult to keep track on what is really happening on the site and everything around. And sometimes difficult to get access to it. Maybe I can only access this in the office or not from a mobile app, what we all like to do today, I think, no matter in which industry we are working. So this gives you a little bit in some feedback that we got during implementations or in discussions with customers or prospects globally. What are challenges that they are facing there? So we try to address it with having one fully integrated solution. I said it is industry specific, but still everything is in one system, in one database, and fully integrated with each other. And especially here in Asia, we learned when we started working on construction 3 years ago, a lot of construction companies are manufacturing too. So specific parts are manufactured to be used in the construction projects there later. No problem. In Acumatica, like I said, it's all in one solution, all fully integrated. A manufacturing process can be part of the construction project, and the costs are rolling up, and everything is fully integrated, as you see this here at the moment on your screen. So what the construction edition is in Acumatica is financials, full financials behind it, your balance sheet, your profit and loss, your AP, your AR, your cash management, fixed assets if you want, including depreciation, everything around. And then the core for sure is the job cost accounting. So setting up budgets for material, for labor, for for anything you need in the project to make it successful, and then tracking, like I said before, in real time the cost against it, the actual costs whenever they are coming in, maybe with time entries, maybe with expense claims, maybe purchase orders if you purchase something external, or with manufacturing, as I just mentioned it there before. And on the other side, the sales side, your invoicing, keeping track, especially if you have progress billing, keeping track when can I bill the next time again, the invoices are directly out of the system. And this then, if you have your invoice, if you have your WIP, what you work on, and if you know the job costing, then we can provide you with a real-time P&L, as I said this before. Project management, manage your project, issue list, daily reports, if you want to have them. We have an integration to construction apps that are out there that you maybe want to use on top of the Acumatica solution itself. And this is all on a, like I said, modern cloud platform developed on our framework in Acumatica. So the key benefits for our customers when they are working, and this is what they are telling us, is world-class project accounting and financials included into the solution. You can manage all the phases of your project. Everything is integrated, teams, smoother workflows, approval process, automatically suggesting the next step in the system after you do a transaction and do there something. So it's much easier for you to control your projects that are ongoing outside there. So you have real-time overview of everything what happened in your business and in your projects that are there. And it's always available anytime from anywhere where you can access the solution. So that's a short overview about some of the customers that we are having now there globally, where we're collecting a little bit the logos of these customers. And like I said, you will hear a little bit live in the next session about one of our customers here in the Philippines. I put here up a few examples about some of our customers and what they are talking about, how happy they are to work with this solution. Main feedback at the moment, sure, in the COVID, is what we often now hear is how happy they are that at least the administration, the salespeople, the management can continue working because it's easy to access from home and just try to keep the business going and continue what you are doing there, even if maybe you cannot do your construction projects at the moment, or you can only do them in a limited number of people on site and everything what is there around. So this gives you a few example. If you want to know a little bit more about this, including some video case studies that we are having there on our website, acumatica.com, click on customer, and then you can filter by industry and can see what else we did there already in the past. So, and here are a few of the integrations I was speaking about. I'm in very close discussions with Procore at the moment, and very shortly we from Acumatica will provide a webinar about the integration with Procore on the project management side if you want to use it, where we have a standard integration that we built already. Other examples are Smartsheet, DocuSign to collect online there itself, and for sure what you see a little bit later too, or what Morris was speaking about already too, the integration as well, and in some solutions that they Solver, for example, he showed on his screen SBI solution where we have a standard integration. So it's an open, beside our frameworks that I showed before, a very open architecture that we are having there. So, and this is maybe in Asia the most or the biggest difference to most of our competition, and very liked by our customers. Acumatica is coming with unlimited users. So normally software, and especially ERP, you pay by user. So the more people you have in your organization, the more expensive it is for you. We turned it around. We said we are doing it by industry. So we have industry-specific pricing. We then have module-specific pricing. So if you want to use our CRM on top, this would have a price. If you want to use other specific functionality, manufacturing, for example, like I said, then it would be an additional price. But it is unlimited users. So everybody in your organization should use Acumatica, should use your business solution. And we don't want you, when you grow and hire additional people, every time to pay more money to buy additional users, and because we want to support you to grow. And we don't want you to cut users out because it's expensive to buy license. If you, for example, have users who only do expense claims, nothing else, just add them. Most of our competition, you have to buy additional licenses for it. And we leaving the choice to you where you want to host it. So we are offering public cloud with AWS, as I explained it already, then we host for you. And we are offering private cloud, which means you can choose a local data center in Manila or in the Philippines somewhere, or even host it on your own server if you want. It's really up to you as a customer what you prefer, if you want to maintain the solution itself technically by yourself, or if you want to leave it to us. So both options are there. And access from anywhere on any device, as I mentioned this before. So before running out of time, I would like to introduce Natanai. Natanai is hi. So Natanai is a regional solution consultant in Acumatica based out of Thailand, and he is our expert for construction. So, and Natanai will now show you a couple of screens, so to give you a little bit of feeling how it looks like.
Right. Thanks a lot, Thorsten. So I'm sharing now the screen on the system. So, but before we move into that, just a couple of short introduction for myself a little bit here. Right, so let me sharing this one. Hi everyone, again, this is Nathanayan Jai, Regional Solution Consultant from Acumatica and the Product Specialist for the construction. I'd like to walk you through today related to the construction product from Acumatica itself. But before we move into the system, we would like to talk about our product here a little bit for a few minutes here. Like Thorsten has been saying, how we can connect, the question here is more like how we can connect the field information into the back office, right? So here we start with this question. So basically, does the data that you are capturing right now is actually flow back into your backend system or not, right? And it's actually, it should be given everybody's and all the flow that they are involved on the projects, could be 10 or 100 personals that working on the project, as is actually depend on the sizing of the project. The question is everyone getting all the real-time information? And those data is one true source or not, right? So, and when the data is capturing on the field, is it update back to your backend the system automatically or not, without having you to do anything, the double entry in the system again? That's not the way that you would like, right? So, and this is all about Acumatica. So today we would like to show you in some of the area here. Again, the demo here today is going to be really short session. So then the full demo that you can request from us, and then we can have a discussion on the deep detail later on. So let us see the product, shall we? Right, so let me bring out.
Yeah, we can see it. The dashboard. Not now anymore. Now,
Right.
yes.
So now I change a little bit my role as the project managers, right? So what I'm doing normally when I wake up, so log into the system, these are the main screen or the home screen that I normally see. I can start my day, see all the information that's come from the fields, right? So then I can focus on which information that I like to focus on, for example. So here, for example, I sit on the job on site. So then I can review and I can see the real-time fleet from the web, right? And then also the current, for example, the current estimation of the budget is remaining. For example, I have some of the project that's went quite low already. So then I can jump right away from this area and then I can drill down into it and then see inside what is going on, right? And then if you scroll down a little bit here, you basically seeing the area, for example, like is there any change orders like the VO that you have? And then is there any approval required? So then you can immediately review what are the urgent matters and whatnot, right? So these are the area that you normally see. And it keep your daily life much more easier. As you can see, everything here is as you need. As the graphical representation is allowing me to keep on track on the speed of the change of the project that happening. Sometimes it's move rapidly, right? So and then you can have ability to tracking all those change of the project data flow in and know exactly what really happened. So you don't need to wait until a week that you summarize the amount of the POs and all that. So we have met some customer that say, yeah, we're gonna wait until 2 weeks until we summarize all the purchase order, and then we can know immediately what are the amount, and then it's basically from our point of view is basically it's too late already, right? So then you don't have the real-time information to make the decision on that. So let's talk about the tool that we have out of the box a little bit here. The first area is basically on the explain claims. So it's obviously when you do the project construction here and there, so there were going to be the expenditures, which is also including the approval workflow here, where you can attach the photos or the receipt into upload to with your mobile, that you can use the mobile. We Acumatica also provide the native apps for both iOS and Android, so which I can show you here now. So let's have a look short in the mobile, shall we? So let me bring the mobiles on the screen now, just a little bit, and then just to give you a really a chart over there, right? So I'm logging onto the screen, the system right now. Use my fingerprints, and then once I logging into the screen, so I also seeing exact the same information and exact the same tool that I need to use, right? So normally I can also do the approval. I can also doing the budget check, for example, right? Yep. So here are the list of our screen that you can see. You can have explain claim that you can inject the information here. I can add it here new, right? So and then I can review what are the pending approval and what not. I can also do the approval here. For example, I can review my purchase order that already exceeding the budget, for example. If I go to there, and then I can see immediately into the detail that telling me, oh, these are the purchase order that's already been exceeding or the budget already, right? So these are basically the area that you normally can access everything from your mobile, and then you can access every function from this area, right? So let me get back to the main screen a little bit here. So In some of the other area also, we have the related to the P&L that can come in the real time under the project. For example, what you are seeing here on the main screen that you can see, these are one of the project that I've been selected, and these are the real-time income expenditures and can be broken down by the labor, materials, the others costs that also expenditures and all that. So you can compare between the actual one and the budgeting one. So then you never lose the track on that, because this is real-time information. We have also the subcontract management here, where you can print out, and then where you can tracking the contract where you have with your subcontract on that. Move next to that is basically related to the, so let me load this one again. So our work in progress report, so you can generate work in progress report from this area, and then you can also have the ability to do the report designer out of the box without any additional charging here. Next activities on that, you can also doing just short on the project budget forecasting, where you break down all the costing that happening monthly, and then you can distribute the budget, and then you can see immediately which time or which month that you are seem to be running over, and then you can reduce expenditures according to your plan, right? The last one that I would like to mention here is related to the compliance management, where the system is really helping you related to control and manage the document that you concerning to your project. For example, you would not want to do it manually and tracking and think about, oh, 2 years in a time, in 1 or 2 years, I need to renew this certification, for example, the training certification. So you have no time for do manually counting on that, right? Let the system do the job for you. Let the system tracking this one for you, and then send notification or push notification to your mobile, and then see if this document need to be paid attention to one of your employees. It can be tied to your company, tied to this notification can tie to the people, can tie to the vendor or the customers or the company itself, right? So then it keep the warning and exclamation marks and all that, right? This is just a few area that I would like to mention today. If you would like to see again in the full form of the demo, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will get back to you on that. And thank you so much today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Natanai, for showing it. So yes, it's because of the time, right? We only wanted to give you a little bit of feeling how this is designed and how it looks like, and we believe how easy it is to use. And I think in the next step, if I remember right, we will have Chris speaking a little bit. And Chris is from our Acumatica customer CVI, who is using the Acumatica Construction Edition.
Hi, Thurston. Thank you. And good afternoon,
you.
everyone. Good afternoon. So I will share my screen. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Thurston and Infosoft team. So I'll just share our success story, when it comes to implementation of Acumatica and how and when we started and how it goes. And also, it really helps the operations for the first company that we implemented. CEV has a group of companies. We have construction, real estate, we have memorial, we have mining operations. So the first implementation is under the real estate company. And we implemented the Acumatica Construction Edition to that company. So my agenda for this afternoon to share based on our experience, what was our current situation before and what was the impact before the system implementation and what solutions that we recommend and some investments, savings after the implementation that we reap. All right. So this is common to us. Most of the companies right now, we have no integrated solutions, even other industry. So it's manual. Before I joined the company, I'm thinking of 90% manual and only 10% automated, meaning they have the existing system. They have the IFCA, System for Real Estate, but it was the implemented module, I think it was only the AP. So it's more on AP vouchering lang. So what happens to the other module? It was not properly implemented. And of course, it was not successful for the past years. They have also SAP, Business One, but still, well, at the end of the day, it will depend on the implementation partner, the skills of the implementation partner, on how they implement the system and their commitment. So what was the business impact? Inconsistency of our data. There are a lot of rooms for errors, especially we are maintaining ledgers of customers for more than 5 projects with thousands of accounts. So it's not easy to maintain those accounts. Monitoring their equity, monitoring their in-house financing, what else? Their subcontracting, to monitor the progress of construction, inventory versus the BOM, BOQ. And one of the major challenges that we had before was implementation of the budget. Since we have a project, we need to exercise budgeting. Budget implementation from the request down to the quantity budget, meaning we implemented amount and the releasing of inventory, quantity validation. So that was the major challenge that we cannot implement in each project and operations, aside from operational expense that we also exercise budget. So those things. Compliance requirement with our customers and or buyers. So how can we monitor if they comply the list of requirements? So since it's manual, we need to check each folder, and we have thousands of folders. So imagine that, and then we have a lot of people or doing that. We have people that just to check and sort the documents. Commissions and incentives of our sellers is very important. And since it's manual, so definitely it causes delays. So the computations and sometimes the accuracy of the computation. Like for example, it is the computation of the commission or incentive will be based on the total contract value, not on the SRP. So those things, the mix and match of their computations, their incentives, and multiple commissions in one account. So we have a lot of challenges, by the way, before we implemented the system. And of course, when we implement the system, since we have inaccurate data, it will also take time to clean up our data. So that was also a challenge, but we need to do it for us to load the right information, the right data per account to the system. And aside from that, during the time, we also have an ongoing ISO certification. So for us also to, to provide the right documentation to our ISO partner, we're thankful because of the documentations that the Infosoft followed was based on the ISO 9001 standard or the quality management standard. So all information, the existing processes and the new processes or the will be the enhanced or the to be process for the company for us to eliminate all the gaps. It was addressed. So we submitted that, and luckily we the ISO body Socotec approved our certification, and because of that. So and so on. All right. So these are the business impacts, some of the business impacts. What was the solutions that we recommend after the evaluation and scoping of our requirements for the entire group? Not only for one entity, but we consider the entire group of companies. What solutions that we're going to implement so that we will have only one platform that will be implemented for the entire group of companies. Why? Because at the end of the day, we are also implementing shared services. So actually, I headed the shared services for automation, ICT, business excellence, or operational excellence. It's also under my turf, my department, to streamline everything, automate everything up to the mobile applications. So, which we defined our goal as a shared services ICT is to work smarter, where we can work anytime, anywhere, we can approve anytime, anywhere, so that we can see the operations in your laptop or in your tablet or in your mobile. So those are considerations, or those were the considerations that um, one of the requirement that we are looking for the system. So we evaluated, I think, 4 or 5 solutions presented to us, including Dynamics, of course, familiar SAP, and so on. But at the end of the day, we are still looking for a complete solutions that can address our requirement so that our goal will be achieved, which is to streamline consolidation at the end of the day for the entire group of companies so that we can see the P&L in each at the holding level, sa holdings level. So after those evaluations that took us, I think, 6 months to evaluate and have a solutions, presentation, and proposal, we chose to implement Acumatica. This is applicable because number one, aside from applicable to most of our businesses, because we're also exercising project accounting in mining operations, it also addressed the consolidation at the end of the day. Actually, we acquired Acumatica on-premise installation. It's a hybrid implementation that we have our own data center and have all the users for the entire group of companies. It is a multi-company that can access the system anytime, anywhere. And plus, the vertical solutions that the partner developed for us, which is the real estate dimension, with property management, a localized payroll that is integrated to our project in the construction and taxation. Because at the end of the day, if we are a real estate company, we need to comply the taxation, especially for the IFRS 15, IFRS 16 for the leasing, if we are into leasing, and so on. So reporting, the dot file generation, everything, payroll computation from the cash advances that we implemented. Once you're not able to liquidate within the given period or based on policy or criteria, the system will transfer your account to another account for salary deduction. But of course, still approvals with the accounting for them to reclassify the account. Is it the person will liquidate or return the money, or payroll deduction? For the project implementation, for the budget validation, actually we exercise budgeting. So in every operations, every request, we implement budget. If you don't have the budget set up in the system, then your request will not push through, or it is subject for budget request again and subject for approval. So those things. And at the end of the day, consolidation. The challenge was our challenge before was the inventory, of course, the real time inventory of our real estate. But because of this, when we implement these solutions with the real estate, property management, managing all the projects, managing all the subcontracts, progress billing, commissions, incentives, either based on policy of the company and when you're going to give the commissions to the seller or incentive to the seller, and etc. and so on. So it's already configured in the system. That really helps us streamline our processes. And then at the end of the day, our operations can now, especially those executives, managers that can approve and liquidate their expenses, POs, they can approve anytime, anywhere using their mobile apps. or mobile access to the system. And okay, what was the timeline and additional value that we'll reap after the implementation? Implementing an ERP like this one, and an end-to-end implementation, we divided it into two phases. So we have the phase one and phase two. We call the phase one was the back office support operations. We call it blue. And the another one, the phase two, was the red, the real estate on or the operational side. So we established first the back end, the purchasing, financials, all setups that the red or the phase two requires. So it took us a year to implement everything. Supposedly based on timeline, the implementation for the end-to-end was 6 to 8 months, if and only if we have a complete data or you have a complete data. Because the challenge to implement an ERP, especially from manual, is the accuracy of our data. Actually, we loaded already our data, the beginning balances for the phase two, the red. However, after a month, I think, we realized, and even the department in charge for the beginning balances of our ledger, account ledger, she realized that the numbers there is incorrect. So they're not able to get the real or the accurate data in some of the accounts. So again, that drags us to go live because we need to correct, we need to adjust together with Infosoft to really help us all the split and tumbling just to correct all the posted beginning balances. So all facets just to correct time, the sweat, everything. To correct the loaded data or the posted data is not easy. So it's better, my suggestions, or actually it is a must to provide an accurate and load the correct data, because to correct that, it's not really easy because you need to touch the database, the back, or re-upload again. So those things. All right. So it took us 1 year to implement the system. Actually, it drags us a little bit because of the inaccurate information. Though it's the client, it's our fault, not the implementation or the implementation partner. But they really help us to satisfy and, of course, implement everything. And also, the additional value that we had. Now we are QMS, documentation compliance and functional processes, based on our requirement forms and reports based on the ISO requirement standard, reporting to the BIR, all the reports and delays. By the way, if you are an approving officer, you can also see how fast you approve because the system, uh, it's a newly request, so naka-block pa yan for you to approve. But pag naka-red na, meaning delayed na for how many days. So it can also implement based on your individual users na part of their KPI on how fast they respond to their customer, either internal or external customer. So those are the the added value that we also reap after the implementation. And aside from that, we're now ongoing rollout to the other business units of the company. Since it's a group of companies, multi-company, so we exercise one universal chart of accounts, but there's an additional, of course, additional chart of account, unique accounts per business unit. But at the end of the day, the goal was to consolidate the operations of each businesses. So savings. This is very, of course, normal from manual to automated processes. Actually, number one, since we're more than 100 users, we save a lot on the user license cost because Acumatica is unlimited. And you can access through mobile since it's cloud. So, sobrang bilis lang. Madali lang siyang i-implement because based on our experience. So you can ask me how we did those implementations technically, how we set up. Uh, we will share it to you. It also helped us streamline our processes. Before, honestly, it streamlined our resources, our headcount. Before, we have people na the scanning of documents, looking for documents and document area sa mga cabinets, asa ang contract ani, nasaan ang contract nito, nasaan ang ano nito, yung mga other attachments. And we found out na wala pala, kulang. So how can we submit it to the bank on time? Because as a developer, as a real estate developer, we need also to implement timelines on when we're going to submit the customer requirement or buyer's requirement to the bank or to the pag-ibig. Because it will also affect the cash flow if the buyers cannot provide based on timeline. So now, makikita lahat sa system. All the requirements nasa system from the initial requirement down to the complete requirements once we gave the CTS to the buyer. Real-time inventory in the RE inventory, either i-available yan siya, i-hold yan siya, or yung mga RFO units, yung mga assumption of contracts from the previous buyer to the new buyer, dismissal of contracts, everything. Those are unique in the real estate that was not yet, I think, automated in some of the real estate companies. So that one, it's already tested and implemented. And of course, that one is it's lower rollout services because we have also enabled our internal team to work hand in hand with Infosoft to implement. So when it comes to rollout, so since we exercise centralized chart of accounts or universal chart of accounts and we want one system to implement to the entire group of companies. So still, of course, partnering with Infosoft to roll out the system together with our internal team. So those things. Those are some of the savings. So what was the result after the implementation of the system? So we achieved our corporate goal as an IT, ICT shared services that we want our team to maximize the value of the information. So now they can see, they can generate reports anytime, at any given time, based on what is the status of this project, where are we with the budget for this project. So before, the accounting will encode numbers. Now, part of their job is to analyze the numbers. So it's more an analyzation na, especially the department heads. And now we can work smarter. Actually, it helps us during pandemic. It's timely. We implement the system. We implemented, started 2018. And before the pandemic, naka-go live na si system. So it really helps us to access, though si IT naman ang nagtatumbling to bring all the computers because not all is using laptop. So we deploy computers and internet connection to our user so that for them to work from home. So when it comes to cost, yes, it's effective. Implementations, if we buy a software with more than 100 user license and have an software maintenance annual, it's on top of our investment. It's more than. But we purchase Acumatica, unlimited license. We can use in all our devices. And since it's annual subscription, still lower than the software maintenance that we are looking at. It really saves us. And also compliance on the data privacy. Acumatica has this type button for the data privacy compliance. So you can also include that in all form design sa form design ng Acumatica. So still, based on your own data center compliance and the security and privacy implementation. But the system Acumatica is already has that capabilities. And that's it for me. And thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Sir Morris, Sir Thorsten, at Danai, and please. Great insights about construction and Acumatica ERP as a solution for their industry. So we're now going to begin answering your questions submitted during today's presentation. As a reminder, you can still submit your inquiries through chat box. Our first question is, how long is the implementation of the system? Sir Maurice, you want to answer this?
Yeah. Well, it really depends on the scope of the implementation because there may be some small projects or large projects that we've done. But on the average, it took us around 6 to 9 months or even 1 year. But yeah, it really depends on the scope of the project.
Thank you, sir.
If maybe I can add from a global perspective a little bit and our experience. So it can be much shorter to only 3 months. So it really depends on on your size of your organization, how complex the business is that you are doing there. And so it can be, like I said, from maybe 3 or 4 months up to maybe a year if it is really complex and including manufacturing. And so there are a few factors in there. And from my experience, a big factor is how much time you have and your team to participate in the project tool, right? So because you need to have time to get trained, to give your requirements, to tell them what you want to have. And this is my experience. Your job goes on and your life goes on. So you have your normal job in your organization, but the users still need some time to participate in the project tool. So there are a lot of factors in there to determine. But I'm with Maurice here. So I think something around 6 months it's an average that we implement.
Thank you,
To
sir.
add that also, it also depends, to add that, it also depends on the readiness of the data of the customer, the client. Like us, it took us a year because of the data concern. It's very important that once you implement, you start the project, prepare all the data for faster implementation.
Okay,
Yes.
our next question is it possible to implement this system during pandemic?
Let me answer that Jason, because we had several implementations last year, and then we started around July. We have one. We started around April, just the start of the pandemic, and then we have completed it March this year. Uh, it's so it's very possible to do implementation during this pandemic because Acumatica as a cloud ERP, it can be implemented online. So it's very possible.
So my background is project management actually. So, and I think if you would have asked me this question 1.5 years ago, I would have doubted it and said, no, you need to be on site and you have to. But I think the pandemic changed this perspective totally. And we have a lot of partners now here in Asia too, who changed the model and doing the whole implementation online. And like Maurice said, it is a cloud-based software, so everybody can access from everywhere. So it's not a technical issue. It's then more how to organize Teams meeting like we are having it here now, doing the training online instead of sitting in a meeting room together. But it's possible to do it.
Thank you, sir. We still have few questions here. The dashboard plays an important function not only in construction but in all standard process of Acumatica. However, we still have difficulties adjusting the views specifically, especially for GLs with several rows. Has there been modification in this?
I guess not. Not. Can you answer that?
We didn't really change that much, so it's something to look into detail. What the challenge there is, because normally the feedback we are getting is that it's actually relatively easy to configure and to individualize the dashboards so that everybody can have his personal one and everything around. So I think I'm not sure who's asked this question. I couldn't see it now. Who you are implementing? If it's this Infosoft, reach out to Infosoft. I'm sure they are happy to help and to review what the issue there is. And if our help is needed from Acumatica side there, we are happy to help there too. So maybe, like I said, we would need to know a little bit more details, what's concrete the issue is or the error that you are getting there.
Okay. Next question is, what project management tools are integrated to Acumatica?
The two main tools we are have standard integrations to our Procore. I spoke about it a little bit before, and we are planning a webinar together to show this. And Smartsheet. Smartsheet is an online, it's a cloud-based project management tool that looks pretty much like Excel. So relatively easy to use. And with both of them, we are working very close together on a project management perspective.
Thank you, sir. Next is, can we integrate RFID inventory management system to Acumatica project accounting for non-construction edition or construction edition?
This is a question for Natanai. RFID integration?
Can you read me?
Yes.
Good.
Mhm.
So it's actually the RFID is the one of the way that you can input the data in the system. Basically, Acumatica is open architecture, right? You can have multiple ways to bring the data in the system, but we need to see the RFID, how you read it, and so on, and put into the system. Advantage is not really that, but the advantage is the hardware that reads and then send the data to the system, because Acumatica is allowing any system to send the information to the system. So it's actually the job of the interface in the front where the data had been read. Yeah, that's basically gonna look to that.
Yeah. So yes,
yes, it's possible.
Yes, you can integrate it. So that's possible. Barcode and QR code, we are directly supporting out of Acumatica itself. But for RFID, like Nat and I said, you have to integrate the RFID solution you want to use. But the answer is yes.
Okay, thank you, Sir Torsten, Sir Morris, and Sir Chris, and also Natdanay. It looks like we've covered all of your questions, and I think our speakers have already cleared up all your inquiries about ERP. By the way, we have now the recipient of Infosoft Limited Edition Moleskine Notebook and Power Bank. So congrats for those who will receive these stuffs. We'll contact you for the shipping address. May I call on Sir Morris for the wrap-up of this event?
Yeah, so I guess no more questions coming in. Is that final? No more questions. Okay, so this is the part where we say thank you. Thank you for giving us a bit of your time to attend to this webinar, to this session. Chris, Torsten, anything else you want to say?
Thank you very much for inviting me and to having me here and giving the opportunity. And again, to everybody who joined us today, thank you very much for your interest into the solution itself. And I think Chris will say this finally too, but reach out to Infosoft if you have any additional questions, if you want to see more, if you want to have additional information about it. So thank you very much, Maurice and Jason.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you very much, ICC or Infosoft team, for inviting me.
Thank you, Chris and
I'm
Torsten.
glad to share also.
Yeah,
I'm here to share based on experience on how we're going to implement what will be the strategy, especially this cloud implementation for Acumatica. You can ask us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Torsten. And thank you, everyone. We have upcoming series, webinar series also happening on July, August, and September. So that's 3 consecutive months where we will discuss more on retail, real estate, also for retail and also manufacturing webinars. So again, thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.